Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and a brand new podcast. So, any guesses who we are meeting today? Let me tell you a story about an IT engineer who hailed from a very small town in Madhya Pradesh and who, for hobby, joined a gym, but one day he had a serious back injury during his workout. We are going to learn his journey to recovery and how his passion about fitness encouraged him to start this multi-million dollar fitness company called FITTR. Yes, you guessed it right. We are meeting the founder of FITTR, and he calls himself an accidental entrepreneur. Let's welcome Mr. Jitinder Choksey. So I am before time. Let's just surprise you. Hi JC.
Hey, buddy.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Such a lovely house.
Thank you.
Tell us, can you show us around the house?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay, so I assume this is your living room.
Yeah, this is our living area. And we have the kitchen. We have 3 rooms upstairs. And that's a family area. And
How big is this villa?
I think it's around 7,200 square feet, something like that.
Wow, that's huge. What is this place?
It's called U Villas.
U Villas.
Yeah. I'm not going to open the room because there's 3 little monsters inside. And so,
I can hear them now.
yes. This is the area, then you have like the entire area there. And then similarly you have backside. Yeah.
Such a lovely weather in Pune.
Yeah, the weather is perfectly fine, man. Like, I love Pune. Like, it was always my dream, or you can say a desire, to always settle down in Pune. You know, I came to Pune first in 2008 for my first job.
Right.
And
Since then you settled here?
no. So then I got fired during recession in 2008.
Okay.
And then I moved from one city to another, but I could never forget Pune. And then in 2013, I came back to Pune. I worked in a couple of companies before I started FITTR, and I've been in Pune for almost 12 years now. Love this place. Love this city.
So, what is that love that got you back into Pune?
I think the people here are nice. The weather here is amazing compared to rest of the places. Like, I think the weather is very, very tolerable. It's very nice, and most of the times it's like this. It's beautiful, right? And yeah, traffic is not a big problem. Like, if you're staying in Bangalore or Delhi and Mumbai, the traffic can get tricky. But Pune, the traffic is a little bit there now. It's catching up to other metros, but still not too bad.
Okay.
And yeah, I love Pune.
Cool.
Yeah, these are just some memories.
I'm sure.
That's me, my brother, and my sister.
This is in Madhya Pradesh?
Yes, MP. My late sister.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Sorry to hear that. She was the eldest?
She was the oldest.
Okay.
That's
Is she your mother?
No. That's my mom, mom and dad, and that's actually Jyoti Saxena, ma'am. She is a part of the FITTR community for a very long time.
Okay.
Very staunch supporter. I just love her.
That's
She
you.
is 75 years old, but she still goes to the gym and she's amazing. That's all my co-founders and Sunil Shetty and
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, that's Nusair, Nas Daily.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
We could see his post every now and then on Instagram,
yeah.
praising the good work that you're doing.
It's Milan Soman. All right, shall we go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, JC, for showing us the house around. It's really nice and beautiful and huge.
Thank you.
I am coming from Gurgaon, where we live in a very small flat. So, to me, this is like a bungalow. In fact, it is a villa, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. To start off, JC, I would like to congratulate you and I would like to thank you for starting this business of making people fit. So we understand and we know the inspiration, how it really started.
Yeah.
But since we are here, we would like to hear out from you.
Right. So it all started back in 2015 when I started making some of the people, my close colleagues and friends, fit on a small WhatsApp group. And from there, we moved to Facebook. And then from Facebook, a lot of people asked me if I can personally train them. That's when I came up with the idea that, hey, instead of me training them, if I could just educate them and then they can become coaches and then they can train and educate many more people. So that's where the idea came from. And we collected some 90,000 rupees from the community.
From the same community, the group of people.
So yes, the people who I initially interacted with, like Bala, Nadir, Anupam, and many other folks, and who were also the initial stakeholders in FITTR. And then we launched a basic website. The idea was simple that, hey, it's a large community, you're welcome to join. Read the free document, the Get Shredded document. And if you have any doubts, if you want a diet chart, training plan, just read the document, make your own plan. We'll review it for free. The idea was always around empowering users rather than hiding information from them. So information was completely free, right? And if somebody wanted to have some accountability, somebody wanted to enroll with somebody on a one-on-one basis, that's when we charged them. Right? So that was the basic idea, and we launched with about 14 coaches in 2016, and we bootstrapped the business for 5 years. In 2020, we got funded by Sequoia, Dream Capital, Elysian Park, and here we are now. Yeah.
So I want to understand that when you launched your website, did you had ample knowledge and information about what are you going to guide people about? I mean, did you study about medical science?
Oh, yeah. So nutrition-wise, I had idea. I was ISS certified, and I've been training for almost 24 years now. I started very early. My fitness journey, I started very early. I was 14 years old when I started this, and so I've been training for a very long time. Then in 2013, I also competed in MTV Fitness Fan Challenge.
Okay.
Right there, I was the top runner up from Pune. Then from there, I also participated in Muscle Mania. Then I participated in FITTR. Then I was featured in Men's Health. Right. So all those things were already happening, and I had also completed my ISS certification. So I had.
When was this? Which year was this?
ISS certification, I think I did in 2014.
2014.
Yes.
So,
and 2014-15, I guess, somewhere around that time. And then I started guiding people. And then the more I learned, the more I realized, okay, things are not how they should be. There's a lot of scope for improvement. And then I started conducting seminars. Then I started studying more on the subject from research papers, Ellenberg, Khan Academy, a lot of different kinds of resources. Started putting all the information together, and that's when I wrote the Get Shredded document. And then people asked questions and I answered.
So this certification that you did, how did that certification really help you transforming the business into reality?
It did not. The certification was done very early on because obviously I had knowledge, but I wanted to have some sort of credibility. At that time, there was not many certifications in India, and we were constantly looking at certifications from international bodies. ISSA was one of the international bodies, and I did the certification, learned something, but I would say it was not up to the mark. I was like, okay, I already know the stuff, right? And so there also we had this idea that we have to elevate the status of fitness and nutrition, and that cannot happen unless until the right kind of education comes into the country, right? So the idea was never just to start a fitness platform. It just happened organically. But at the same time, when it all started happening, the idea was that if we have to elevate the status of entire fitness industry, we don't just have to have like quality services, but the coaches who can deliver those quality services. So initially, I remember we'd ask our coaches to do international certifications, like you have to be certified by ACE or ISSA or NASM or PN. But later on, we started developing our own course material because none of the international bodies had access to real-time client feedback. And as we started training more and more people, we realized, hey, this 1.2, 1.6 gram protein per kilogram of body weight, this recommendation, while it's a good idea, but it just does not work for everybody. Because a lot of clients, they would come and they'd say, we can't consume this much protein. We are consuming 10, 20 grams of protein. You ask us to consume 100 grams of protein. It's hurting our stomach. Okay, right. So a lot of practical information, how to introduce progression, how to introduce foods, how to do proper food selection, and how to incorporate behavioral changes. So this entire subtlety, this entire nuance of one thing is like, yeah, eat less, move more. You eat less food, move more, do exercise, everybody can get fit. Right. If it's so simple, why is everybody not fit? There's something wrong in here, the behavior, the culture. So there are a lot of nuanced aspects that very few people understand. We tried introducing those nuanced aspects, the behavioral aspects into the course material. So now our coaches, they understand why it is important to become part of the community, why it's important to answer the client queries again and again and again. It builds resilience, it builds passion, and it shows that yes, you are compassionate and you genuinely care about your clients, and you're not in it for just money. You're in it for because you really want to carry forward. So a lot of things we understood as we progressed from just me training a bunch of people on WhatsApp to now a full-fledged company that's trained and transformed 300,000 plus people.
So tell us that when you started the FITTR app, were there already some existing companies like what you were doing?
No, at the time there was no company. I think Cult had raised funds at the time, I remember, because Cult, but they were not making any noise. I think the first center wasn't even launched at the time. So we had these old school companies like Talwalkar's, which now has shut down, I guess, Gold's Gym, but online space, I think Healthify Me was there. Healthify Me, but it was not a very prominent name. I think they started a year earlier or two before us, but they were not into curated coaching like we were. So I think at the time we were first of its kind, where you could pick your coach, and if you were not getting results, we'd give you your money back. At the time, there was no platform like
this. Platform like that. You were also saying that you ensure that the coaches that are there and empaneled in your in FITTR, they are supposed to do some courses. So have you also developed those courses within, wherein they can do those courses and become a certified trainer?
Yes.
Okay.
So INFS now has over 28 courses.
Okay.
And the longest running course is a diploma, which is exercise science and nutrition and client handling. All of this in a almost 8 to 9 months diploma program, which is accredited by the government.
Okay, it is accredited. Yes. Okay. Tell us about your mission to make 50 million people fit.
Yeah, that's the mission.
That's the mission.
Yeah, that's a mission. It's a good number. Good to have. When you put a number to something that you want to do, I think it keeps you accountable.
Right.
And good to see that we are progressing in that direction, and we still have a long way to go.
How far are we?
Quite far.
Quite far.
Yeah, it's not as easy as I thought it'd be, because back then I was like, hey, I'm making people fit. Everybody wants to get fit. India has a lot of unfit people, so it should be easy for me to make people fit, but it's not as simple.
So I also did a research, JC, before I came here, and in fact I spoke to, if not more, I think 50 people. Okay. To congratulate you, they all knew about FITTR.
Okay.
but a lot of people didn't know about the other applications that are there
Okay.
online. So I think you're doing a wonderful job
It's good to know. man.
either ways. But yeah, I think it's a long way to. Any number that you can disclose right now?
What do you mean?
Huh?
Which kind of number?
Your mission is to make 50 million people fit. So
So right now we train about 100,000 people a year. I
Okay.
would love for that number to change to maybe 200,000 people a year to, over a period of time to maybe 500,000 people a year.
so everything happens through your application, right?
Yes.
And the data that you consolidate is basis the downloads that you have for your
So
application.
downloads, we have around 6 million downloads.
Okay.
So download wise we are there, but look, we would have trained. So when I say 3,000 plus people, those are paid transactions, which means those are the people who have enrolled with coaches. So 3,500 something, 350,000 something. But if you talk about the number of people who get affected by our community or people who have, let's say, just transformed without our help, I think that number would be probably over 1 million people.
So talking about the strength, what sort of employee strength, which includes all the coaches, the trainers for FITTR, what is the number?
So coaches, we have close to 450 now, and in terms of employees, about 150, so about 600 plus people.
600 plus
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
Okay. You call yourself as an accidental entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, the idea was not to start a business because I don't come from a business background. I'm a software engineer by profession, and I was working in IT industry for about 8 years. And this was more like a side project, because this was like me genuinely helping some of my friends for free, and I was doing that because it made me happy, And I think when you get fit and people ask you, "Hey, how are you so fit? Can you help me?" Obviously, I'm gonna help you because I just love doing that. And one thing led to another, which none of us had thought. Me, my wife, we were never prepared for this. And it's a good reminder that sometimes accidents happen in life, and just have to go with the flow.
So I was also reading this article. In fact, I use those terminologies in my introduction as well. That you met with an accident. During your workout, you had some
back injury.
bad back injury, and which actually encouraged you to start something like that.
No, it forced me to get home stuck. So I could not go to my job. For 1 month I was on work from home, and they had told me that the max we can do is work from home is 1 month. After that you either leave or you don't get salary, right? And I don't know, I was in a different world altogether at that time, man. I was like in a room, and this was immediately after my muscle mania, because I was working out way too heavy squats.
This is after you said the MTV competition that you...
After MTV, did Fit Factor, and back to back then I did for my muscle mania preparation.
So,
and I was doing... Yeah.
Can you share some details on what exactly happened? What were you doing?
So I have osteoarthritis since I was a kid.
Okay.
So I still have. So what happens when you have osteoarthritis is that your joints, your bones weaken over a period of time. There's bone degradation, right? So when you do resistance training, it stays better. Like I have to train. There's no choice. If I don't train, my bones will start degrading faster. Right? So it's a condition. So I've had back injuries, back problem, shoulder problem, knee problem all my life. But during muscle mania, I was pushing too hard, and my lower back I got a slip disc. And so because of which, and usually when you get a slip disc, the initial few days I'll feel really tough. The pain is just tremendous because it pushes against your nerve root, and the pain is just crazy, right? So you can't even move, you can't bend, you can't play with your daughter. So I was just stuck in a room lying all day, and I would just have a pillow like this, and I'll just use the laptop. And even then I was training those folks for free on WhatsApp, and I was like, yeah, these guys are asking so many questions, maybe I'll just write a book for them. So that's where the idea of writing this book came from. So I wrote the book Get Shredded, and later on the Get Shredded book, then we published in the Facebook community, where then it started getting viral.
So the first book that have you written multiple books, or is just one?
No, I've written 2 books.
You've written 2 books. So one was
The Get Shredded was the original book, and
Okay.
then later on in 2019, Rupa Publication approached, and then I wrote the Loose Rag Get FITTR.
yeah. I saw
which
that
is a-
book.
yeah, which is a paid
Yeah.
version. Yeah.
Yeah. I still couldn't understand that. What exercise were you performing when you had that back injury?
No, just heavyweight squats, heavyweight deadlifts.
So it happened over the time, or it happened while performing one exercise?
I think it was a series of, like, I had some pain, and then I was like, okay, probably it's nothing. So I went again and performed. So it was more like an overuse injury. I
Mhm.
should have stopped. I didn't stop, and then it got worse.
You're a software engineer,
Yeah.
JC. When you initially launched your application, did you
Mhm.
develop that by yourself, or did you took
The website design, I did it myself.
yourself?
Yeah. So back in the days, there used to be something called as
WordPress?
5 point.
5 point. Okay.
5 point, right? Macromedia 5 point. And I used that for the UI design. And then we had a developer called Shubha, who was a freelancer. So me and Shubha, we did it.
So you created your own website initially.
Yeah, and we had a programmer. So I gave him the designs, and then he was the guy who we were paying for 90,000 rupees.
Okay.
So it took about 3 to 4 months to develop the whole website. Very simple website, a listing of coaches, a listing of packages, and just a simple admin panel there.
So, how easy or how difficult was it for you to, getting away from the job and moving into business?
Nothing's ever easy, man. Everything is like, whenever you do something for the first time, it's always difficult. Right now, when I think about it, it might have been easy because I faced much bigger challenges over a period of time. But back then, I think it was probably very scary because not knowing what's going to happen, and you take a leap of faith. And the problem is, and none of my family members have experienced this, right? So I was one of the first one to try something of this magnitude, where I would give up my stable job, despite having like an 18-month-old daughter. At the time, my daughter was pretty small, right? I was getting about 1 lakh rupees a month, which was quite a lot.
Decent, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a decent salary.
Yeah. So, thinking about quitting on my salary to start completely something new, which nobody has done, you're first of our kind, and it just did not make sense to a lot of people, right? And that scared me for sure.
So, what kind of pushbacks from your family have you received?
I think most of it was just genuine concern, because they were like, you don't have any experience, you have never done a business, you already have a settled job, why try this?
Was it from your parents, your wife?
Everybody. They just love me a lot, and they have seen that I'm not really... See, since growing up, they knew that I'm not cut out for business, because I don't really know how to sell. There are people who will buy something for 2 rupees and sell it for 4 rupees. I'm not that kind of a guy, right? So even if I started a business, I'd probably run into losses. And that was the whole perception. And so yeah, everybody was like, yeah, business ko karna hai, you're doing a good job, why don't you just do the job? Right? So, but like I said, I did not want it to do this as a business, it just happened. It just happened. We didn't know accounting, we didn't know finances, we didn't know what P&L meant. I did not know anything about business.
So, did you have this back in your head that, let me just try it for 6 months, and if it doesn't go well, I can come back and do my job?
I did not quit my job immediately for the same reasons. So in January, when we launched, we did a business of about 10 lakh rupees.
In 1 month?
In 1 month. By May, we were doing almost 50 lakh rupees a month. So it was in May, actually in April, I was like, okay, I can give myself a salary, a decent salary, like 1 lakh rupees, whatever I'm getting from my job. And now I can quit my job. So we started in January, I quit in April.
So 4 months
4
was
months.
a decent time for you to understand whether it's doing good or not.
Yes, and it was doing good.
Any tips that you want to share with people who think in those lines of leaving the job and starting something of their own?
It's always good to try. it's always good to take risks. Most of the times people fail. Very few people succeed. I'm lucky to be one of them. And I'm saying I'm lucky because look, everybody works hard.
Right.
Everybody works hard, but not everybody makes it in that 1%. The right time, the right place, the right people. I'm super grateful for all of those things that happened in my life. If I hadn't met my co-founders, the ones who are with me right now, I wouldn't be here. If I wasn't helping some people in the beginning who helped me, I wouldn't be here, right? If somehow the time wasn't right, or Facebook hadn't launched Facebook groups at that time, I wouldn't be here. If WhatsApp wasn't there, WhatsApp was launched in 2013, I guess.
Right.
I wouldn't be there. So I'm saying there's so many things which kind of converged at the time to make this whole thing work out, and it did. So I was there at the right time, at the right place, with the right idea, I guess.
So you think that luck also plays a major role?
Very, very major role. Big role. Big role. So don't beat yourself up for trying hard, and if you're not getting it, most people don't get it. And so it's just how it is. It's just random selection. Like if you keep flipping a coin or 2 coins in a row, the probability of both the coins ending up getting the same, as it keeps getting lesser and lesser, and so that's how the world works. It's just probability. So all of our fates, they're intertwined. All of us, we try, and one of us succeeds. So the idea is, you never know if you are the one who's going to succeed. So just keep trying.
Right.